We have some breaking news coming out of Turkey where peace talks are taking place between Ukraine and Russia. And this is truly an update that we didn't think we would be delivering today. According to reports coming out of Turkey, both Russia and Ukraine have signed a document to resume their peace talks. We're gonna go over the details right after this short message from our sponsor. Okay, let's get into it. According to reports coming out of Turkey, both Russia and Ukraine have agreed to hold peace talks with each other. Now these talks were proposed by the Turkish government. President Erdogan of Turkey has been acting as a mediator between Russia and Ukraine since the very beginning of the war. In fact, he spoke with Putin just yesterday about the possibility of these talks. Now, what is interesting is that the Ukrainian government has been very clear that they do not want to negotiate with Russia. They say that there can be no negotiations as long as Russia continues its aggression on Ukrainian territory. However, it looks like they have changed their mind. They have decided to come to the negotiating table with the Russians. What is also interesting is that this comes just one day after the UN Security Council passed a resolution which called for the withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine. Russia, of course, vetoed that resolution, but that didn't stop the Ukrainian government from now coming to the negotiating table. Now, the reason why this is such big news is because we haven't seen any high-level, direct talks between Russia and Ukraine since April, since the very beginning of this war. The only talks that have taken place were between the two sides, between Ukraine and Russia, through Turkey. But now it looks like those talks have broken down and the two sides are willing to sit at the same table and negotiate. This is exactly what President Erdogan of Turkey said. He said that the two sides have agreed to sit at the same table under his mediation. So this is very big news. However, it is important to note that the details are still scarce. We don't know what the agenda of these talks are going to be. Is it going to be a general discussion about the war, or are the Ukrainians going to present their peace plan to the Russians? Because remember, recently, the Ukrainians have been saying that they have a 10-point plan which they want to present to the Russians. And that plan includes the withdrawal of Russian troops from all of Ukraine, as well as security guarantees for Ukraine. We don't know if they're going to present that plan to the Russians, if they're going to ask the Russians to withdraw from all of Ukraine, or if this is going to be general talks about a ceasefire and de-escalation. Again, the details are still scarce, but we will keep you updated. Also, we don't know when these talks are going to start. All we know is that they're going to take place in Turkey, most likely in Istanbul, where President Erdogan's office is located. But again, the biggest news here is that Ukraine has softened its stance on direct talks with Russia. Remember, they have been adamant that there can be no talks as long as Russia continues its aggression. But now, it looks like they've had a change of heart and they're willing to sit at the same table with the Russians and negotiate. Of course, we don't know what kind of concessions Ukraine has made in order to get Russia to agree to these talks. Perhaps they've dropped their insistence on the withdrawal of Russian troops from all of Ukraine. Perhaps they're going to discuss a phased withdrawal instead. Again, the details are scarce, but we will keep you updated. So this is truly breaking news. It's a very positive development. We hope that these talks will lead to a peaceful resolution of the conflict in Ukraine. Of course, we'll keep you updated with the latest developments. If you like this video, please hit the like button. It helps us a lot. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. And now let's get back to your breaking news. The two sides are expected to release a joint statement after these talks. And the international community is closely watching these talks. The United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, all of them are closely watching the talks between Russia and Ukraine to see if there can be a peaceful resolution to this conflict. Again, we don't know what type of concessions Ukraine has made in order to get Russia to agree to these talks, but we will find out soon enough. Alright guys, that's the latest breaking news. We hope that this leads to a peaceful resolution of the conflict. We hope that there's not more violence, that there's not more death and destruction. And we hope that Ukraine and Russia can find a peaceful way out of this conflict. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, it helps us a lot. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers. Thank you so much for all of your support, and we'll see you in the next one.